A very good morning to each and every one of you to the QShala Family Quiz. And this is a very special edition for all of us. We have one of the most prolific authors in English literature in India, Mr. Ruskin Bond, who will be our special quiz master. He will interact with all of us. And for us at QShala to present to you, to all the family quiz community, it's indeed special and honor. And we are very excitedly looking forward to all the action for today. So those of you joining in for the first time for the QShala Family Quiz, we are a Bangalore-based tech organization working with children to really focus on sparking curiosity through interesting questions and stories. We believe that curiosity is at the heart of the learning process, and we at QShala organize this every week to really bring children to different aspects from history, culture, literature, music, sciences, technology, and really build a holistic view of the world. And indeed, today, we are presenting the quiz in partnership with Puffin Books, Theme Music Institute, and True Elements. Lots of interesting prizes in store for all of you. Every participant of the quiz who is registered for the quiz goes home with a digitally signed autographed copy of the recent book by Mr. Ruskin Bond, The Tunnel. So all of you go back home. We will ensure that the books will be shipped to you within about 4 weeks from today. Wishing you all the very best for the quiz. We will start the quiz exactly at about 11:30. We are expecting Mr. Bond to be there by about 11:40, and we should be in a position to interact with them for close to about 30 to 40 minutes. And the quiz will be for a period of about 1 hour, 15 minutes. So that's instructions for all of you. And I think as I hit about 11:28, we start with a small ritual, so to say, at QShala Family Quizzes, which is a small meditation, mindfulness practice where we center ourselves, the space of the QShala Family Quiz. So request all of you to take a moment, close your eyes, calm yourself, and breathe deeply. And focus your attention on the breathing as you breathe in and breathe out. Breathe deeply and calm yourself. If you hear any distraction, acknowledge it and bring your attention back to the breathing. Take deep breaths. Now you can slowly open your eyes and welcome each and every one of you to the QShala Family Quiz 84th edition of our special edition quiz with a very special quiz master that we have for all of you. And we at QShala are very thrilled. In fact, it's almost dream come true for many of our team members to have Mr. Ruskin Bond as our special quiz master for the 84th edition. So for all of you joining in for the first time of the quiz, the questions will come up on the screen, and you need to key in your answers on Kahoot, and we'll explain all the rules to all of you. So go ahead and during the course of the quiz, we will keep all the participants' prompts muted just so that it does not affect the proceedings of the quiz. We will unmute the team, the family, which we pick in random to give away the answer. And there are some special questions that we had asked and crowdsourced prior to the quiz, and we've selected a couple of the lucky ones whose questions are selected to be asked in the quiz as well. So that's when we will unmute and you can answer or ask your questions to Mr. Bond then. So instructions on chat, tell us if you are joining for the first time. If you've heard the family quiz for the first time or you're joining in for the first time, do let us know on chat. We would love to know how many of you are joining in for the first time. The QShala Family Quiz is amongst one of India's largest family quiz communities, over 35,000 families who are part of the family quiz community, which started off during the last year lockdown and has been almost consistently every week bringing you a fun quiz. On a Sunday, we do a junior quiz, which happens at 11:30. There is a sub-junior quiz, which is for students of grades 1 to 3rd at 3 p.m. We request all of you to join in as well for that edition of the quiz, right? So love to know. It's great to know that over 50, 60 of you are joining in for the first time. This is very heartening to know all of you. We have over 500 of you joining in from different parts of India. Welcome to the QShala Family Quiz. So how do we arrive at the leaderboard? For the winners of the quiz today, there are, you all go home with fantastic book collections of Mr. Ruskin Bond. How do we arrive at the leaderboard? It will be the top 10 winners that gets, populated by Kahoot. We are using Kahoot platform to take answers in the quiz. So our partners for today, a hearty thanks for Puffin Books, Theme Music Institute, and True Elements for being partners of the quiz for today. Puffin Books is the publisher of many of Mr. Ruskin Bond's books. Theme Music Institute is a music academy which you can go and explore. And True Elements gives very healthy food for all of us. So here goes what's at stake today. All ticket holders, as I mentioned, get an assured digitally signed copy of the tunnel delivered to you within 4 weeks. And the winners, in fact, the top 20 winners today will go home with Ruskin Bond books. So the Cherry Tree, Mukesh Starts a Zoo, The Tree Lover, and The Cricket for the Crocodile, are the books today for an offer. So all the winners go home with a collection of Mr. Ruskin Bond's books. The top 3 winners get a flat 500 rupees off on all True Elements products. These are all be shared to the winners after we get them. There's also a social media contest that we are running. Tag QShala and tweet out bonding time, hashtag bonding time, and one lucky winner will be announced and will win prizes. And we'll get, we'll announce the prize winners at the sub-junior edition of the quiz today at 3 p.m. And you can join in to the sub-junior edition as well. And there is a special prize. By the virtue of you participating, apart from you getting one book, the tunnel, which you'll get, but also anyone in the 500 odd, 550 odd of you here gets to win a lucky prize, where just wait till the end of the quiz. We will announce the lucky draw winner. You'll get a collection of Ruskin Bond's books as well. So that will be on offer today. And we will jumpstart to, the Kahoot instructions. If you can, please ensure that you have 2 devices, one on the Zoom call where you are all, and another one where you can key in the Kahoot pin that we will share with you shortly. And so once you join onto Kahoot after the pin, please ensure you give your email ID and your nickname. Try to keep the same name as you have in your Zoom call so that we can recognize you. Type in the code on your name, and this is the Kahoot pin 8402045. 8402045. We request all of you to quickly go to Kahoot, www.kahoot.it, and key in this game pin, 8402045. Right, so go ahead and join into Kahoot, and you need to key in your answers on the Kahoot platform. You don't have to download the app. You just need to go to www.kahoot.it, and you can just go in there and put in your game pin, 8402045, and you should be in a position to join in. Right? Okay, superb. So all of you look forward to join into the through the Kahoot pin, and we are almost ready. Just trying to see if Mr. Bond will join us by about 11:40. So ensuring that we are through. So just go to www.kahoot.it and please key in the game pin as we have provided. So 5402045, and we will also share this on chat so that you can also join in at any point in time, right? So please ensure that that's very important. So all answers will be taken on Kahoot. Right. Okay, so we are almost ready, and we should be in a position to, right? So just take a moment and quickly. Wonderful. So I can see all of you, take your time and join in. Yeah, so just to repeat to all of you, just taking a moment to explain this. So all the answers of the quiz, you need to put it on the Kahoot platform. You need to go to www.kahoot.it, use a separate device if possible, and key in the game pin 8402045 as mentioned in the image that we have provided. You can provide your email ID just so that we want to ensure that the email is proper as well. Okay, so now the direct questions, you will be provided with 4 options, and you need to click on any of the options on the Kahoot platform to indicate your answer. There is also a type in answer where you'll be prompted to give an answer by typing in the answer. Please ensure that you take care of spellings and the number of letters that we indicate to you to give away the answer. And there is also a puzzle question where you may have to arrange the order, and you'll get the answers right as well. Right. So structure of today's quiz, we'll start out with a special Mr. Ruskin Bond's round, where the questions will lead to everything relating to the book, The Tunnel, or related to the book, The Tunnel in some way or the other. Then we have a connect round, and then followed by a long visual connect round, and we'll end with a rapid fire round. My name is Raghav from Team QShala, who will be facilitating the quiz along with Shrija from my team. And we are very happy and excited to present to you the 84th edition of the quiz with our special quiz master, Mr. Ruskin Bond. And now the moment we were all waiting for. It is indeed my honor, pleasure, and I have to say, almost a dream come true to introduce to you my childhood hero author, Mr. Ruskin Bond. He doesn't need no introduction to all of us. One of the most prolific authors of English literature in India and loved authors. Mr. Ruskin Bond was born in Kasoli, Himachal Pradesh in 1934. He grew up in multiple cities, Jamnagar, Gujarat, Dehradun, New Delhi, and Shimla. His first novel, The Room on the Roof, which was written when he was just 17 years old, went on to win the prestigious John Levin Rice Memorial Prize in the year 1957. Since then, he has written over 500 short stories, novellas, poems, and including Vagrants in the Valley, A Flight in the Pigeon, and many more, and over 40 plus books for children. He's a recipient of the Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1992, Padma Shri in 1999, and in 2014, the prestigious Padma Bhushan. And more so, we are all grateful for Mr. Bond for sparking, for the love, for longing for the mountains, nature, and those simple stories that touch you in so many interesting and wonderful ways. So thank you so much, Mr. Bond, for being here and gracing the QShala Family Quiz. Over to you, Mr. Bond, joining in from Masuri. If you can.
Thank you, sir, for your very kind introduction, saying all those nice things about me. I look forward to now chatting with you and with all the young people on the show, answer any of your questions, tell you about books or writing or my life. Well, most anything you like.
Wonderful, Mr. Bond.
So let's
start
get
off. Wonderful, Mr. Bond. I had one question. I mean, we were all inspired by your writing. Who was your childhood hero, or who were you inspired by when you started writing?
Well, I'd love to tell you, because here he is. Can you see? Charles Dickens. Huh? And this is a new biography of Charles Dickens called The Mystery of Charles Dickens, which tells you a lot of interesting things about him that nobody knew. But he was a great writer. And when I was about 12, and I read David Copperfield for the first time, and I sort of identified with young David, who grows up to become a writer. And I decided I would grow up and become a writer too. So therefore, I have to thanks to Mr. Charles Dickens for starting me off on my literary career.
Wonderful, sir. And so we will kickstart the quiz right away. For all of you who have joined into the quiz, I hope you've all logged into the Kahoot round. We will just share the Kahoot pin and the round to start off the quiz. Here goes. Get ready, all of you. Hope you're all ready with the Kahoot round. Just a second. We're just sharing.
Many of you, my goodness.
So we have close to about 500 of them who've joined in today for the quiz, sir.
Wonderful.
Right.
Wonderful. We won't get through 500, but we'll do our best.
Super, sir. So the questions will come up on the screen. So if you can, we were told that it'd be very difficult for you to read out from the screen. We will try and read it out. If you can engage with the questions that children might have.
Yes.
Sure. Sure, sir. We will start away right now. The first of the questions on our special edition quiz. Here comes the 84th edition quiz with Mr. Ruskin Bond. And round one relates to everything that the book Tunnel kind of has. So the first of the questions coming up on the screen, all of you, get ready. Here it is. You need to type your answer. And the question is the following. Sir, is it possible for you to read that? Okay, I'll probably read it and.
Yes, read it out too for me, because my eyesight is a bit weak now.
No problem, sir. Shrub Mansoor is the inspiration behind the name of which Indian hill station associated with Mr. Ruskin Bond. So that's the question for all of you to answer and put it out on chat on the Kahoot, this one that you have platform. So type in your answers. And I will pick one of you in random to give away the answer. So in no particular order, can I request Krish Solanki to give out the answer, please? All the rest of you, type in your answers.
Surya.
Krish, if you can introduce yourself, tell us where you're joining in from to Mr. Bond and give away your answer.
I'm joining from Jodhpur, Rajasthan.
Wonderful. Which grade are you in? And you can tell your answer.
8th grade, 13 years old.
Wonderful. And your answer is?
Masuri.
And he says the answer is Masuri. Mr. Ruskin Bond, sir, do you think the answer is right? What do you think, sir?
Yes, true enough. I live in Masuri. Here I am speaking to you from Masuri. Landau, in fact, is a part of Masuri. Which is where I live. And the boy who answered the question correctly. He lives in Jodhpur. It's a very lovely historical city. I've been there once or twice in the past. So good wishes to you and good wishes to Jodhpur.
Wonderful, sir. So lots of variations of answers that people have put in. We'll try to incorporate as many.
Sure, have they located me all over the country? Yes, various places where I must go to some of them yet.
Super, sir. So
Mostly
these are all
right.
the answers that we received. So in fact, we have we have Arnav from Bangalore, in fact, who wanted to ask you a special question as well. So just from the leaderboard, we have Elena, who's taken up the lead, followed by Avika, Sushma, Sid Shrikant, and Sai Prabir. And now over to the rolling and beautiful picturesque hills of Masuri, from where Mr. Bond is joining us from. And a question relating to it coming from Arnav from Bangalore, studies in Brigade School, Malleshwaram. Over to Arnav to ask his question to Mr. Ruskin Bond.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Brigade School, Bangalore.
Yes,
yes, Arnav.
Go ahead, Arnav. You can ask your question.
Yes, my question was, if you were not born in Missouri, because all of your books have great influence on the setting, from where you are currently writing from, or where the books entail. There's big influence of where the background is. Yes. If you were not born in Missouri, where would you want to be born?
If I was not born in Masuri, where would I want to be born? Actually, I wasn't born in Masuri. I was born in Kasauli, which is near Simla, which is also a hill station, but a small one, an old military station. And I was born in a military hospital there. But I didn't grow up to join the army. But where else would I like to have been born? I think anywhere in India, I'd have been happy to be born. You have to be born somewhere in India to be a citizen of the country. So, and I'll settle for anywhere, anywhere in the country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, and if you want to talk to us about how Masuri played an influence on your writing, if you want to say a couple of words to all of them.
Yes, well, Masuri, it has, because although I grew up in, say, Dehradun and Jamnagar and partly in New Delhi, I came to live in Masuri in the 1960s. I'd been working in Delhi, and I got a bit fed up of the job I had there. I wanted to go back to full-time writing, and I thought the best way to do that was to go up into the hills. And I think I chose Masuri for practical reasons, because while I wanted to be in a secluded place up in the mountains, I didn't want to be too far from publishers and the busy life of the capital. And Masuri was the closest to New Delhi, where I had my publishers and also friends. And it was only a 6-7 hour drive in those days, as it's even quicker now. You can take a plane. So I wanted to stay in touch in a way with the busy world of India, and at the same time have a quiet, peaceful life up in the hills. And I found I admit that I found I could write better and I could write more in this in the atmosphere of the mountains around me.
Got it, sir. So thank you so much. And we would all love to visit Masuri and experience the same environment that you had, which inspired you to write. So the next question.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Next question coming up is the Pont du Lelma tunnel in Paris is famous because of an unfortunate accident that claimed the life of which princess? It's a 5-letter word for all of you to take a crack at the answer. Type in your answers and do indicate to me on chat if you've taken the crack at the answer. So, go ahead, type in your answers on the Kahoot pin. Right. Okay. In no particular order, just trying to get one of you to take a crack at this. Okay, so can I request Yashi Jha to take a crack at this answer, please?
Yes, sir. Sir, the answer for this question will be Princess Diana. She had the unfortunate accident and died in this place.
Mr. Bond, what do you think?
Did you ask me?
Yeah, Mr. Bond.
It was a tragic accident. And actually, I had a glimpse of Princess Diana a few years before that, because she was connected with the help that was being given to Tibetan school children in Masuri, and she visited this hill station briefly. A very beautiful, charming lady, very popular with everyone.
Fantastic. So Yashi, you're right. You got the answer absolutely right. This is Princess Diana. Fantastic answer there.
Thank you. Sir, also, I'd like to add, I'm a big fan of Mr. Ruskin Bond's books, and I have been reading them since I was 5. And I feel so engrossed reading them. I'm still continuing reading those books. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you for continuing to read me. That's thank you. And I had to put on my reading glasses. Now I can see you all better and read those the lines too.
Wonderful, sir.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And Yashi, great. Keep reading, being inspired. And I hope you can also write one day. So Shish Shrikant takes the lead, followed by Sai Prabir, Somdatta, Vijay, and Avika in the top 5. The next question actually comes from Ishwar from class 6 from Bangalore, who wants to ask you a question, sir. In fact, even we had a question in relation to the tunnel. Looks like the tunnel did play a very important role in a couple of your stories. So I wanted to ask you if there was some real life place or the tunnel that kind of, drew you into creating stories.
Yes, well, when I used to go to school in Simla back in the way far back, 1950, the small train, the mountain train would go through over 100 tunnels. The longest of them was the Baroque tunnel, which took almost 5 minutes for the train to pass through. So there were a lot of tunnels and brief, but the one I wrote about in this story was really in the foothills near Kalka. And I always sort of admired the men who sort of had to look after these little tiny wayside stops, in lonely places in the forest where there were wild animals like the leopard in this story. And here I sort of wanted to show how, in a way, a sort of friendly relationship had grown up between the Khalasi, the watchman, and the leopard that would occasionally visit this spot. And he would, in this story, he helps to, in fact, save it from an oncoming train in the tunnel. So tunnels were very much a part of my boyhood. And there's always something about a tunnel that invites mystery, or you want to find out more about it. It's like a cave. If you go into a cave, you want to go to explore it. On the tunnels, at least you come out at the other end. In a cave, you might not emerge from it. So in a way, a tunnel always has a light at the end of it, a light of, let's say, hope and freedom.
Wonderful, sir. So, and we have Ishwar from class 6 who has a question for you, sir.
Hello, sir. I am Ishwar of class 6 from Bengaluru. I am fascinated by your stories, especially the short ones which has deep meanings. To name a few, Untouchable, the most beautiful, and the thrillers, The Haunted Bicycle, and The Trouble with Jinns. I'm glad I got this opportunity to interact with such a great author like you. Now I have a question for you. According to you, what makes a good story? Have you ever felt that the story you wrote will not impress the readers, but turned out to be one of your best ones?
According to me, what makes a good story? And what was the rest of the question? So I didn't quite get it.
Have you ever felt that the story you wrote will not impress the readers, but turned out to be one of your best ones?
Turned up in?
Sir,
Turned out to be one of your best ones.
Oh, I see. Well, what makes a good story? You see, stories are about people. And if you meet an interesting person, an unusual person, it sets off a story in a way. So sometimes my stories begin with a character, and then the character becomes a story, or I weave a story around that person. With some writers, it's different. They might have the story first, and then they put in a character. But I rather prefer to start with a person, a well-rounded character, because then whatever he or she does comes naturally. So a story should, I think, be believable. It doesn't have to have a moral or a meaning, but if it does have a positive end, and that's a good thing. So my stories are, on the whole, cheerful, and a lot of them, I think, end on a high note rather than a low note. It's only the ghost stories that sometimes go down. But so there you are. And sometimes you're right. I've written maybe a story I didn't expect it to be popular, but it was, and it became well liked. I've taken an early story like you mentioned, Most Beautiful. I wrote that about 40 years ago. And here you are reading it now. And how old are you? 8, 9?
I'm 11.
11. There you are. So how lucky I am to have a reader 40 years after the story was written, which says something for the character in the story, who's helped to keep it alive. Thank you so much for your interesting question.
Yes,
And the stories you mentioned were some of my favorites too.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. That was fantastic. The next question that's coming up on all your screens. This cricketer gives his name to a cricket series and also a famous character from Mr. Ruskin Bond. So you can name the character, and you know that character also shares its name with a famous cricket series. So given your best shot at the answer. So looking at all the answers that are coming in, and go ahead, giving your answers. And if you have any doubts, in no particular order, let me invite Samarth to take a crack at this answer.
Oh, it's a tough one. I think I know who that is. It goes back to my childhood or before, earlier.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, you're right, sir.
Nobody jumps up like that now when they're batting.
Absolutely. So just trying to get Samarth, if we can get Samarth on air.
Yeah, Raghav, I think we are unable to unmute Samarth.
Is it? Okay, so we can get the next person is Arundhati. If you can get Arundhati to take a crack at the answer.
Sir, the answer is Ranjit Singh Ji.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, it's Ranjit Singh Ji. He was the king, the Maharaja, the Jam Sahab of Jamnagar, where I grew up. And at that time, of course, he'd already passed on, but his nephew, Duleep Singh Ji, was another great cricketer. And we have named after them the Ranji Trophy and the Duleep Trophy, which commemorate them. And Jamnagar, that's where cricket started in India, thanks to Ranjit Singh Ji, who played in those days for England. Later, his nephew played for India as well as for England. So that's cricket history. So that was very clever of you to recognize Ranjit Singh Ji there. Yes, and he was a great player, certainly.
Wonderful answer there. And Ranji Trophy was what we are looking at, and Ranjit Singh Ji, after whom the Ranji Trophy is named after. So in fact, we had a quick question to you also. Ranji makes a appearance in many of your novels. Is there a real life?
maybe at the back of the mind, although I wasn't thinking when I called my character, the boy in the story, Ranji, maybe it was subconsciously I was naming him after Ranjit Singh Ji, huh? Because now that you mention it, there is a connection.
Super, sir. Looks
but
like
Ranji was a boyhood friend actually, so that's how I came to use his name.
Wonderful, sir. And it looks like Sis Shrikant is leading the track with Avijay and Avijay, Arvind, Darsh Thakkar, and Som Datta in the top 5. And of course, Ranji is part of the book, The Tunnel, as well. And we have with us Surabhi Pandey, who's actually a young filmmaker who wants to ask a question to you, sir. And Ruskin Bond, sir, is also famously a movie buff. So I think makes for an interesting conversation. Over to Surabhi for her question.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello, sir. Namaste, sir. This is Surabhi here.
Yeah, hello, Surabhi. There's a lovely photograph of you there with the flower.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So Mike, first of all, I would like to thank you for this opportunity for allowing me to ask you this question. And I'd also like to say that I just received your book, Writing for My Life, the signed copy from the event that I attended last week. I was just seeing the signature when I came to know that I would get to ask this question to you today. So my question has 3 parts. I'll be speaking each part and giving a slight pause. The first part is, when did you first get to writing from life during your early days as a child?
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, I first took to writing when I was at school. Now, I was pretty good at essays and that sort of thing. But I was a bookworm too. You know, I was very fond of reading, and I'd escape to the library whenever I could and read everything that was there. And so I was sort of writing stories even when I was in class 8 or 9. 1 or 2 of them got me into trouble actually, because I wrote a story about my class teacher and I didn't say anything very nice about him. And he came across it and tore it up and threw it in his waste paper basket. So some of my first stories actually got me into trouble, but I started at school. So my advice to school kids is, do write stories if you want, but don't put your teachers into them. Huh?
Yes,
keep the teachers out.
Right. So the second part of my question is, were your friends' personalities always an inspiration for your writing, or did you ever try to reinvent their flaws or the qualities you wanted them to have?
The friends, yes, I'm a very realistic writer in a way. So when I write about, when I create a character who's based on a real person, as many characters are, he would or she would have the characteristics of that person, of that boy or girl or adult. Occasionally, I might make up a character, and it might be purely imaginary. And then, of course, I would give the character certain characteristics that would help in developing the story around him. Obviously, if it's going to be a scary story, then the main character would have to be in some way a little mysterious or scary in himself. So imaginary characters, you can play about with them. But if I've based a character on a real person, I try to recreate that person in a way, and his or her personality.
And so the last part of my question is, did you ever try to take revenge from a mischievous friend by painting him or her as a weird sort in your stories?
Did I ever try to take revenge on a person by writing about him in a story?
Yes, a mischievous friend especially.
Not yet, but I'm tempted to do so. Maybe I'm going to do it one of these days. Sometimes I brood, think over the past many, many years, over a long lifetime, and think of 1 or 2 people who were a bit mean to me. And I sometimes think I can take my revenge on them. I'll write a story about them. But I haven't done it yet. I don't think I ever will.
Wonderful, sir. And thanks for that, Surabhi. And thanks for that interesting. Yeah. And the next question coming up on the screens, all of you. The Forest Department of a certain North Indian state is using DNA testing to identify man-eater leopards. So which state are we talking about? 11-letter answer is what you need to give us. So think quickly and you should be in a position to put out the answer, right? So go ahead and please put out your answers. We are looking for a 11-letter answer, and you can chat and tell me if some of you want to take a crack at that answer as well. So go ahead, and in no particular order, can I request Vani Verma to take a crack at this answer?
Hello, sir. The answer is Uttarakhand. I'm Vani's mother here. We registered for her. And I just want to say it's so exciting to meet Ruskin Bond sir in person. In fact, we've been to Masuri, and outside sir's bungalow, we walk around just hoping that we'll get a glimpse of him, but we actually have a glimpse of him now. So extremely grateful.
You'd
Very
have to
grateful.
You have to throw a pebble on my window, and then I'll open it and look out, and then we'll
remember that next time, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
But that leopard and the DNA test, are they doing the DNA on the leopard, or are they doing the DNA on the contents of the human that the leopard has eaten? I'm not sure.
Oh, very interesting, sir. Yeah, I think this is largely to do with the DNA of the human that's
the victim.
Dead. Yeah, victim, and probably taken.
Yes, yes, so.
Wonderful answer there, and Uttarakhand is the right answer. So we will try to ensure that in case you've gotten your spellings, as much as possible, we will include all variations of Uttarakhand, but just give us some time. Okay, so we will try getting as many.
It's a challenge, the spelling of Uttarakhand. Even I get it wrong sometimes.
Super, sir. So I'm just trying to ensure that everybody, to get a chance. Right. Okay. So that's Uttarakhand for all of you. And from where Sir hails from too. We have Shrikant still keeping the lead, followed by Abhijay and Adu in the top 5. And the next question actually comes from, the leopard from the book. Those of you who will be reading the book shortly, you will notice the leopard there.
Nice, lovely illustration, isn't it?
Yeah, wonderful.
Superb illustration.
So just was curious, have you spotted leopards or tigers close by? I know that some stories where your grandpa had a tiger cub and so on.
Yes. Well, leopards, they're quite common around Missouri, especially in winter. They come looking for something to eat, and usually they pick up dogs. They don't pick up the stray dogs, which are very skinny and don't have much meat on them, but they do pick up pet dogs, well-fed pet dogs occasionally. At night, driving up from Dehradun, I've occasionally seen a leopard sort of sitting on the parapet. Once a leopard with cubs. And as a boy in Dehradun, I was taken very often on trips into the forest, and we stayed in forest bungalows. And I did occasionally see a tiger or a leopard, but I never had an encounter with one of them, thank heavens. Although I have, in one of my stories, described an encounter with a tiger, but that was fiction.
Got it, sir. We have Adrut Raghuveer, a question for you. Over to Adrut for the question.
Hello. Hello, Adrut.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Thank you, Adrut. I'm doing fine.
I'm also doing fine, sir.
Adrut, you can ask your question.
Tell me what you want to know.
Yes, sir. In the state of Uttarakhand, where you stay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember the name. There is many beautiful forests, but many of them is getting destroyed now.
True enough. You're right. That's been happening over the years, and Uttarakhand is very fortunate in having a very large forest area. But you see now, with the country as a whole getting more and more urbanized, towns and cities growing, even villages becoming towns. There's a constant pressure on the forest areas, and that happening most everywhere, and it's happening here too in the hills, because a lot of roads are having to be made, dams come up, and trees get cut. Maybe it's something that is part of progress. I don't know, or maybe, but a lot of people are also disturbed about it, because we do need our forests and our trees just so that, because with all the climate change that is happening, these things only aggravate the problems, the deforestation and the pushing back of the greenery in the country.
Yes, sir. How can we stop all these bad cutting of forests, deforestation, under the guidance, even as though we are children, but we can try under your guidance to
Yes, we have to be more alert about it, write about it. There are social activists who also approach the government, who will, and create a public awareness about the dangers of deforestation, of too much, let's say, urbanization, and people have to live somewhere, of course. But I guess we must also think that wildlife and animals too have to live somewhere. And we need that forest as much as they do.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And the last of the questions coming up. Inspired by a European country, politicians in Goa want to enforce what tradition between 2 and 4 p.m.? It's 6-letter answer. A particular tradition followed in European countries and some parts of India as well. And especially politicians in Goa want this to be enforced. So what tradition are we talking about? Don't disturb during that time. So think about it and give out an answer, right? So plan your thinking. So in no particular order, can I request Sai Prabir to give out this answer, please?
It says, please do not disturb.
Sai Prabir, if you can unmute Sai Prabir.
Hello.
Hi, Sai Prabir, go on.
I think the answer is siesta, and it's inspired by Spain.
Yes, I think that's right.
And that's the right. So we have heard that one of the things that also is a very important part of Sir's, this one is siesta. So, good evening siesta, afternoon siesta really, keeps you. So how important is a siesta for you, sir?
It is. I do take an afternoon nap, but I'm very cunning. If said after this event, which I think we will conclude a little after noon, I am sometimes tempted to take a pre-lunch siesta. And in order then to recover from lunch, I need an afternoon siesta. So I'm a very lazy, sleepy fellow, and I'm all for siestas and afternoon naps. But I guess it's different. In a cold country, you don't feel like sleeping in the afternoon. And up here in the hills too, you don't necessarily want to have an afternoon siesta. But I can imagine in Goa, where it's hot and humid, and you become drowsy very quickly, where you will, you're going to fall asleep anyway, whether you're given that time for a siesta or not. So I think it depends a lot on where you live and the climate and the sort of life you live too.
Got it, sir. Right, siesta was the right answer, and all of you who got that, fantastic. Keep it up. And Sai, great answer there. This is the siesta answer. We have one more question, and you can see the afternoon nap was a very important part of the story of the tunnel watchman as well. So from the story, The Tunnel, now we have Ms. Uma Maheshwari, who's a software analyst turned teacher, who has a question for you, sir. Over to you, Ms. Uma.
Uma. Hello, Uma.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to everyone here. QShala, thank you so much. This actually seems so surreal, ethereal to be speaking with Mr. Bond. My question for you, sir, is I am also a classical dancer. So I read up somewhere that you wanted to become a tap dancer. So,
well, I was a boy then, and I used to go to movies, and I used to admire the dancing of Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly and all these others. But I don't have the figure now for tap dancing or any other kind of dancing, although I do admire even a lot of Indian classical dancing. And when I was, as a young man, had to survive 2 years in London, I would go out of my way if there was a Bharatanatyam dancer or any Indian classical dancer. There were some famous ones in those days like Gopi Krishna and others, and I would really go to watch them. Odia dancing is also so beautiful, and the Kathak and the Kathakali. I wish I had been a dancer.
yes, and
I dream about it sometimes. I can dream in my dreams. I'm dancing. Thank you.
Right, that is so good to know. Do you still follow the dance scene? Do you still go for dance performances?
Yes. I didn't hear the last bit.
Do you still go to dance performances?
Yeah, well, I used to. Up till 2 or 3 years back, I used to go to Orissa quite often, and so I would see Odissi dancing there. Yes.
Okay. The very names you mentioned, Gene Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, they were my idols when I grew up.
Oh, wonderful! You don't get dancers like that anymore.
Not anymore.
In
Yes.
Hollywood or the West. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, QShala.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, and now the moment, sir, if we've been all, if everyone can switch on your videos and take a photo, get your favorite copy of Ruskin Bond sir's book, and we'll put it into our frame. If you can all come on frame, and we would love to get a photo. So this is a photo moment. If all of you can bring in a book, I have one copy of the book that I have. And we'll take a photo and we'll share a pic with all of you. Yeah, sir, if you have a book, you can put it in the screen as well so that we can.
Yeah, here it is. Lovely illustrations. I really like them.
Okay, so superb. Thank you all. So nice to see brimming faces. And in fact, for us, it's almost a privilege to have Sir join us to the Sunday Family Quiz, taking time out and being part of it. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we have one more question from Trivida. So I'm just getting Trivida to ask that question, and we will share the images and the photos as well. The next question is a couple of questions that we had from children, and we have Trivida from Bangalore who had a question for you. Trivida, over to you for the question.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Trivida.
Good afternoon, Trivida.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask you a question. And my question is, I would like to know your views on how literature is dealing with success and failure in life, how it's playing a role.
How it plays a role in?
In dealing with success and failure in our life.
Oh, in dealing with success and failure. Well, I've found that from a personal point of view, the more I've read and the more familiar I've become with the works of great writers and how very often they deal with the problems of life. So one learns from that, in a way, because you learn to think, to look back, to in a way contemplate more. The more you read, reading gives you a certain, let's say, attitude, which maybe an attitude of acceptance and of a philosophical outlook, which you don't otherwise have, because if you're not a reader and your other interests are, no matter how varied they are, you're missing out on something. You're missing out on an understanding of human nature, for one thing. And the more you can understand human nature, the better you can deal with the problems of your own life. So I think literature is so important, and you can't force someone to become a reader, I've realized. So it's something that it's a voyage of discovery in a way. You discover literature for yourself, sometimes by accident, sometimes by persuasion, or somebody just puts a book your way and you're hooked on it, and then you become a reader for life. It's seen me through my 86 years of living, and helped me to, face life's ups and downs and problems much better than I would have if I'd never been a reader. So I think we are lucky, those of us who read books. And I think we have a fairly good understanding of life and the meaning of it. And so as I was saying before, the more readers there are, the better the world would be. Thank you.
Got it, sir. Thank you, Trivida, for that question. And sir, thank you so much. I think we've taken a little more than what we had taken for your time. So, sir, if you wanted to share a message to all of these children, and how was your experience of being part of the QShala Family Quiz today? We would love to hear. There are lots of young writers amidst us in the call. What's your message to all the children, all of us here on the call?
Well, my message is, I do realize that there's so many would-be writers now, young people who want to write, who are writing, and who want to get published. And that's a wonderful thing, because it takes me back to my own boyhood and my passionate wish to be a writer. And it was rare then, but it seems to be more of a ambition today amongst young people to write and to express themselves in words and sentences and in language. Either, if it doesn't have to be English, it can be your home language, or it can be Hindi, whatever you're comfortable with. So do write, and don't be disheartened maybe with a few rejections or failures, because I had those too. So persevere. If you really want to write and you're confident in your ability to do so, persevere. Don't give up easily, and love your literature, love your books, love your writing.
Yeah,
that will make you a good writer.
Fantastic, sir. So we had all of these messages from children to you. We love your books. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful messages. Now you make me want to sit down and write a new story.
Wonderful, sir. So we had last one. In fact, a mother and daughter duo have written a small poem to you in honor of you. We thought we'll have them, be here. We have Ms. Danya and Nainika, out there who have written a small poem in honor of you. Yeah, Nainika and Ms. Danya. Can we have Ms. Nainika and Ms. Danya?
I can see you.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, let's hear your poem.
Okay. Can we have Ms. Nainika and Danya?
Yeah, I see them. I see their photograph.
Requesting to unmute?
Yeah, please request to unmute. Okay, so just a second, we're just getting, sir, in the meanwhile, when you get them, there's one major request from all the audience members. Can you say, my name is Bond, Mr. Ruskin Bond? We just wanted to get you on camera on that, sir.
You want me to say my name is Bond, Ruskin Bond?
Yeah.
My name is Bond. Ruskin Bond.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you so much. It was
better than James Bond.
Absolutely. Sir, we have Nanika. Are you here? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Nanika, go on.
Good morning, sir. Please to by myself. Please forgive us if there is any mistake.
Hello.
The note to a penman.
A note to a penman. I know a creator who bloomed as a mesa. To Ralph made insomnia. And as he was silly with worldly things or technology. But he's a gem, buoyant with imagination.
Who make time for us.
Great. So, the sound isn't very good, but I've got some of it. You'll have to write it down and send it to me.
I'll do that, sir. We will send that across from both Nainika and Ms. Danya. And it was a very nice, poignant poem in honor of you.
Thank you.
So, from all of us from Team QShala, all of the audience members here, a hearty thank you for inspiring all of us to love mountains, love nature, and to express ourselves in the most authentic way. And thank you so much for being part of our lives, sir. And wishing you write more and enthrall all of us.
Lovely. I loved your presentation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So if you have one, how did you find about, how was your experience in the quiz, the QShala Family Quiz, if you want to share us a few words? Sir, anything that you want to share about the QShala Family Quiz?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was different, unusual, and I'd love to do it again. So thank you. Love to be with all of you again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you all. Thank you, sir, for joining in for our QShala Family Quiz. Thank you, Mr. Bond.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we will, give Mr. Bond a hearty thank you and a bye-bye from all of us to Mr. Bond. And now over to the remaining part of the quiz. Stay back till the end. There is a lucky draw winner for all of you who are part of this. There's also Critical Thinking Pro. If you find any error in the quiz and point that out, you stand to win a prize. So go ahead and you can let us know. And you win a 250 rupees voucher. Round 2 is coming up, and this is the Connect round. So in this Connect round, we will be sharing a couple of images, and you need to tell us what the overall theme in part of the connection is. So I have my co-quiz master, Shija, who will be taking the first question. Over to Shija to ask the question.
Thank you, Raghav. So here's the first question. Let's listen to the audio first. All right, so that was the audio element of this Connect question. Look at all the elements on your screen carefully. We have a cartoon character. We have something that says Lux. We have an anime character, the sky view of a city, a few words over there, a famous personality, and also another picture clue. So it's a 5-letter answer that we are looking for, right? So in no particular order, can we unmute Avani Pandey? Unmuting Avani Pandey.
Yes, I think the answer is Buzz.
Sorry, Avani, can you be a little louder?
I think the answer is Buzz Light.
So you say the answer is light or Buzz Light. So let's take a look at the answer. Yes. So Avani, you are absolutely right. It is light indeed. And can you tell us what prompted you to the answer?
Actually, my father is sitting here along with me.
Oh, so your father helped you answer that question. Sir, can we have you in the frame as well?
Hi. It wasn't me. I just saw the character Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story. Right. I thought it is. I took a guess.
Well, sir, you are absolutely right. It is light indeed. And we are adding a few other probable answers as well to consider them. And yes, it is light. So in the first place, we have Abhijay Arvind. In the second place, we have Abhijay. Third place, we have Adhu, Somdatta, and Pragna. 18 players have reached the answer streak of 3 with that question. With that, over to you, Raghav.
Wonderful. And with light being the answer, QShala wishes all of you a very happy Diwali and wishing you all the very best. And in fact, how Sir said, it's fitting that you'll all be getting the book, The Tunnel, and let there be light at the end of the tunnel for all of us. Wishing you all the best for a happy Diwali. And now we have Abhijay Arvind, our guest quiz master from Sri Kumaran's Children's Home, Bangalore, who will be asking the question to all of you. In QShala Family Quiz, we really encourage children to frame their own questions and really ask children. So here goes, Abhijay, over to you for your question.
Okay, so here's the question. So here's a picture of my dog, then a desert, then there's also a picture of a person over there, and picture of souvenirs from. So connect the following and give the answer.
All right. So at random, can we unmute Gurnav to give out the answer? Gurnav?
Yes. I think it is Volkswagen.
No, but you're close. That's only answer to one of the clues.
Good try. So at random, can we unmute Rohan Srikumar?
I think the answer is Germany.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
So yes, Germany is indeed the correct answer. Rohan, can you tell us what prompted you to the answer?
It took a little time, but I saw the Black Forest and I realized that's like a German cake. And then the dog, I think, was a German Shepherd, and the People's Car Company, I think, was Volkswagen. And yeah, that's about it.
So good job, Rohan. That was absolutely the right answer. And thank you, Abhijay, for that amazing question.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so let's move ahead and look at the scoreboard. Abhijay is still in the lead, followed by Sid Shrikant, Somdatta, and Adhu. 11 players have reached the answer streak of 4 with this question. And it was Germany indeed. So again, reminding you that the social media contest is happening. Please tag QShala on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn and use hashtag bonding time. One lucky winner will be announced in the sub-junior family quiz happening at 3 p.m. today. With that, we will move on to round 3, the long visual connect. And yes, so the long visual connect happens over a month. And we have been revealing one set of images every week. And each of the images are connected by one theme. So this is the example. So in the first week, if we showed you Rag Malhar, in the second week, we showed you a picture of Lord Indra. In the third week, we showed you a picture of Mohsen Ram. And in the fourth week, we showed you a picture of a K-pop idol named Rain. Then the overall connect that we're looking for is Rain. So this is the set 5 of the October series, the last set. So let's take a look. Yes, so in the first set, we showed you all of these images. So we have a Ghibli movie and a ghost pepper and other things. And in the, yes, so these are all the other sets here. Let's move on to the final set for the month. And here's the 5th set of the day. We have a bunch of paper dolls, a popular poster of a movie, and another poster of a movie with Tom Cruise in it. So let's take a guess. This is the final chance for you to answer this right and guess the overall theme. We've been showing you a bunch of images since the start of this month, and we're we're finally going to reveal the overall theme. So take a guess. All right, answers are pouring in.
Right, Shrija, do you want to choose one person to answer the question?
Sure. Can we have Bhavin Karthik Melta answer this question?
The answer is ghost.
All right. So Bhavin says the answer is ghost. Let's see what others have also said. Yes, a lot of answers coming in. And yes, ghost indeed it is. And a lot of you have said Halloween as well. I think
Today is Halloween. That's why I got it as ghost.
Amazing, Bhavin. Are you excited for Halloween? Are you doing something special?
Yes, Andy. I ordered a costume.
You ordered a costume. That's amazing. Maybe you can send us a picture and tag us as well. All right. So ghost it is, and a very happy Halloween to all of you. We will quickly run through all of the elements.
Every Halloween I do post it in Instagram.
Oh, that's amazing. Maybe this Halloween you can tag us as well. Thank you, Bhavin. All right. So we had Spirited Away. We had the etymology of ghost and the ghost pepper as well. Then we had Headless Nick from the Harry Potter movies, the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Phantom is another name for ghost, and Scooby-Doo, who was scared of ghosts. Here we had Spectre. Spectre, which is again another name for ghost itself. A person whose job it is to write material for someone else who is the named author is again a ghost writer, and Vikram and Betal, Betal being the ghost. Then we had a still from the movie Ghostbuster, a still from the movie Bhootnath, and also the reference to Snapchat was the Snapchat logo. And finally, we had the Katrinas, the Mexican ghost paper dolls, Casper, who was a very cute, friendly ghost, and also the name that was blanked out there was Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. All right, so here are the winners of Long Visual Connect from last week, who guessed it right last week. They are Jia, Rohan Srikumar, and Guru Raj Potness. And the winners of last week's leaderboards are as follows: Rajiv Ratnam, Amrita B, Sambarta Sanyal, Ramya Achar, Anumegha Datta, Sai Prabir Iyer, Abhijay Arvind, Sachin Van, Vidita, and Sanvi. Congratulations to all of you. And Critical Thinking Pro. So these are the people who found out the mistake last week. Divya, Arjun, Nainika, Prabhav, Akshay, Sai Prabir, Gomati pointed out that we had put the wrong picture of Jasprit Bumrah. So you were absolutely right. And there is this new thing that we are starting, a new contest series called the Steady Champs. So you will get a chance to be rewarded for your regularity on monthly, half-yearly, and annual basis. So please make sure that you join in from next week again. And finally, we will move on to the rapid fire round. Over to you, Raghav, for the first question.
Thank you, Shrija. And now the last leg of the quiz, round 4 on the rapid fire. Get ready, all of you. Last set of questions to figure out who the winners are going to be. Here's on your screen. India recently launched a new variety of which crop? The seed of Oryza sativa to cut down on the use of water. Are we talking about rice, barley, millets, or wheat? Oryza sativa is the name, the scientific name of this crop. What are we talking about? The image should be a clue as well for you to crack the answer. Rice is the right answer. This is a new variety which reduces the consumption of water as it grows. So looks like Queen Star has taken up a lead, followed by Somdatta, Abhijay Arvind, and Rajiv Ratnam, the top 5. Over to you, Shrija, for the next question.
So here's the next question on your screens. Tiago Mundano painted this mural with ash collected from the Amazon fires. He is from which former Portuguese colony? So is it Cuba? Is it Colombia? Is it Argentina? Or is it Brazil? Take a look at the mural carefully. And also the name of the artist is Tiago Mundano. You must have read about this in the news.
And yes, 138 of you got it absolutely right. It is Brazil indeed. With that, Queen Star is in the lead, followed by Somdatta, Rajiv Ratnam, Abhijay, and Aditi. Anumegha Datta has a streak with 9 correct answers in a row. Right, and this is a picture of him making the paint with the ashes, and he painted it to honor the firefighters who helped extinguish the fire. Over to you, Raghav, for the next question.
Wow, an activist who is an artist becomes an artivist, and fantastic work there. So that's that. And the next one is a puzzle question. Arrange these national award-winning movies in the chronological order of their release. So Neerja, Pa, Tare, Zameen Par, and Newton. These are all national award-winning films. You need to put them in the order of the earliest to the latest. So on your Kahoot screen, arrange them in order and click on the Kahoot button to indicate your answer. You have close to about 35 seconds to go. So go ahead and key in the right order. All very good movies, socially relevant, has some meaning to them. Right?
Also, the national awards were recently given out, Raghav. So I think this question is quite relevant.
Oh, wonderful. And I also heard that a recent Tamil film has been nominated for the Oscars as well. So that's another interesting, this one we need to look forward to, the foreign category feature films. Right. And in fact, Tare Zameen Par was something that came out while I was in college, if that's a clue for all of you. Oh, looks like it was a little bit of a toughie. We had Tare Zameen Par, which, as I told you, was in college, so 2007 to 12. Then we had Pa, Neerja, and Newton being the latest one on the whole election, campaign and the election voters commission in India, right? So election commission in India. So that's the answer we were looking for. Looks like Somdatta Guha takes the lead, followed by Rajiv Ratnam, Abhijay, Anumegha, and Geetanjali in the top 5. Your next question, over to Shrija.
So here's the next question on your screens. The 2 new IPL teams have recently been announced. While one team is of Ahmedabad, of which capital city is the other? Is it Gandhinagar? Is it Thiruvananthapuram? Is it Dispur? Or is it Lucknow? Take a look at the picture carefully. It's a monument from that particular city. Try to place where you might have seen this monument. And yes, 241 of you getting it absolutely right. It is Lucknow. Indeed. With that, let's take a look at the scoreboard. The scoreboard remains the same, up 100 places. Ved Nanaya N is the highest climber. So congratulations to all of you. Over to you, Raghav.
The next question, from the world of Lucknow, we come to an iconic Bollywood movie starring SRK, which will be something that is being remade in English. And unfortunately, I think like my screen has gotten frozen. But is it Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, My Name is Khan, or Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum? Okay, just give me a second. Looks like my screen is frozen and I'm not in a position to go to the next slide. Just give me a second before my computer unfreezes a little. Shrija, are you in a position to see the screen?
No, Raghav, I think it's stuck for all of us. Even your video is stuck, in fact.
Okay. Just give us a second. Okay, thankfully we are back. Just give me a second.
So while we wait for it, Raghav, can you imagine listening to the dialogue, the famous dialogue from the movie Ja Simran Ja Ji Le Apni Zindagi in English? How would that be?
Oh, that I think would be a little corny in English, right? So yes, this is DDLJ, I think one of the longest running films. Yes, so this is, that was the answer. And we have Somdatta Guha who took the lead, followed by Abhijay, Rajiv Ratnam, Anumegha, and Queen Star in the top 5. The next question, over to Shrija for the question.
Here's the next question on your screens. It's a true or false question. Indri are endangered lemurs known for their rhythmic singing. Is it true or are we lying to you? Right? Take a look at the picture of the animal itself. It is assumed that these species are very similar to humans, even in the way they walk. So Yes, with that, let's take a look at the answer. And yes, it is true indeed. 300 of you got it absolutely right. And here's the scoreboard. Okay, not much of a change in the scoreboard. So here's them singing. Let's listen to them. Right, I think their singing fits right in with the Halloween theme. Over to you, Raghav, with the next question.
Oh, you bet. Invented in Philippines during World War II due to shortage of tomatoes, which popular condiment was made with bananas instead? Are we talking about ketchup, salsa, pickle, or soup? And I have to tell you, I was quite grossed out listening to this answer. Looks like Philippines has a special version of bananas ketchup. So if you want to try that exotic, condiment, you can try that out in Philippines. So we have Rishang Malgik, who has an answer streak of 3, but otherwise I think the leaderboard stands almost unmoved. It's called Jufran, is one of the brands from there. So yes, we have even banana ketchups, which are quite popular in Philippines. Over to Shrija.
So from that, we move on to the next question. A new study has shown that Mozambique's civil war and poaching can lead to what deformity in elephants? Is it no ears, no tusks, no eyes, or no trunk? Take a look at the picture as well. Maybe that will lead you to the answer. What sort of a deformity is expected in the animals in Mozambique due to the civil war? And yes, no tusk is the correct answer. With that, let's take a look at the scoreboard. All right, Queen Star moving up the scoreboard. 21 players have reached the answer streak of 4. Over to you, Raghav.
And don't miss the sub-junior edition today at 3 p.m. where we have author Aditi Rao with a very, very interesting book on bears. She will be our guest quiz master today at 3 p.m. and will also be announcing the social media winners. So go ahead, put out hashtag bonding time and tag QShala, and you stand to win a prize. So today at 3 p.m. is Miss Aditi Rao with Boy Bear. So look forward to that. And your next question: scientists have recently discovered ancient life inside a 2.5 billion year old stone. It's a red precious stone. Which precious stone are we talking about? Rose quartz, moonstone, ruby, or an amethyst? Work it out. Which among the following were ancient life? 2.5 billion year old red precious stone. Ruby is the right answer. And we have about 139 of you who have cracked it right. Looks like the leaderboard is almost unmoved. And Sidhu is the highest climber. Keep it up. Over to the next question.
Here's the next question on your screen. Bollywood film Junoon is based on the book A Flight of Pigeons by Mr. Ruskin Bond. It was inspired by which historical event? Is it the First War of Indian Independence? Is it the Dandi March? Is it the Champaran movement? Or is it the Quit India movement? Take a look at the picture as well. Less than 3 seconds remaining. And yes, 130 of you got it absolutely right. It is the First War of Indian Independence from 1857.
Right. And this is the last bit that we wanted to know. Thank you all for joining in. Just wait it out for the lucky draw winning prizes, and we will announce the winners of the quiz as well. Tell us, what was your experience of today's special edition quiz with Mr. Ruskin Bond? We thought it was very special and so playful and affable was Ruskin sir, completely giving us his stories. Thank you all for that. And a huge shout out for our partners, Puffin Books, True Elements, and Theme Music Institute for collaborating for today. Next week, Sunday, same time, we have Lazy Gardener and interesting gardening kits, which will be an offer for prizes for all of you. Lots of interesting questions from the world of gardening. And this is something that we wanted to introduce our children to. So next week, same time, 11:30, we look forward to seeing all of you. Come back to our QShala Family Quiz. Go to qshala.com and register yourself for the quiz. Stay back till the end for the lucky draw winning prize. Here is the podium finishers of our special edition quiz. We have Rajiv Ratnam, who interestingly shares his birthday with Mr. Ruskin Bond. In third place, Queen Star, and second place, in the quiz is Som Datta. Congratulations, Anumega in fourth and Pragnya in fifth place. Congratulations, all of you. Very well done. We will ensure that all the prizes will be sent across in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Give us that time. Thank you all. Hope you all enjoyed the special edition quiz, and wishing you all the very best. If you have any suggestions on chat, do let us know, and we would love to hear from all of you. We know we would have loved to have accommodated all your questions to Ruskin sir, but unfortunately we have about over 600 registrations, and to incorporate everybody would have been a challenge. But would really love to, we would ensure that since he's happy to come back again, we will nudge Ruskin sir to be back with another edition of the quiz. Right? Thank you all. Hope you all enjoyed.
So Raghav, before we move on, shall we reveal today's lucky draw winner?
Absolutely. And you need to tag qshala.com on Twitter or Instagram. And the winner of our lucky draw is Kashvi Sarode. Congratulations, Kashvi. And you win yourself 3 beautiful books from Mr. Ruskin Bond. And thank you all for joining in. Wishing you a happy Sunday, happy Deepavali, be safe, take care, and wishing you all the very best. So do let us know on chat, and take care. And we will ensure that, all your prizes are, we will ensure that all the prizes will be, sent out as well. Thank you all. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.